Shoot! Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, a few weeks ago I made some content on the Wuben X0 flashlight, which I really liked. It was a flashlight that future Moorlanders managed to create a time machine and send back from 3023 back to 2023 to give to the current day Moorlander. Via Wuben, of course. And I alluded to another flashlight that I'd got that I was going to bring to you. So let's stop all of the alluding, let the alluding cease right here, because what we are here to look at, which is stuck in my pocket, is the Wuben X2. So they have a series called the X series. There is the X0, there is the X1, which may be coming soon. And there is the X2. So the X2 is a futuristic EDC pocketable 2500 lumen flashlight that I think takes the X0 up to the next level. And yet again, it's another light from Wuben that has just kind of blown me away. It's took me a little bit longer to get this content out, mainly because of the backlog that I've had since Christmas, but it's given me a lot longer to fall in love with this. So first thing to do, which is the right thing to do, is to thank Wuben. Edison, thank you very much for sending these my way. I certainly appreciate the partnership and the pieces of content that we've made in the past. And again, I'd like to thank you for sending this my way. And of course, I'll leave all of their links below so that you can see more from them, and a link with maybe some discount at the end. I don't know, let's just say that. But yes, for now, let's take a closer look at the Wuben X2 flashlight. Okay, now I know I often say I'm not an unboxing channel and generally like to do a little bit of an unboxing, but this definitely is one of the most kind of Samsung Galaxy phone style unboxings that there is. They have to be losing money on these boxes. These aren't particularly expensive flashlights. I'd class this as a mid-range flashlight, but yeah, they've really pulled out the stops. So you open it up, it butt flies open on the front here. So in here you have all of your instructions and warranty and all that stuff. Oh yeah, as far as warranty goes with this, you get a 5-year warranty, which I think is great. You get the light, which fits in there perfectly. I'm just going to put that to one side for a second. And then what you also get is some nice little added features. So here you get one of these red diffusers. So if you are out camping and you certainly want to save your night sight, then you can add this to the end. It's made from a nice soft silicone, so it just slips over. And one of the features that I really love, and I purposely haven't opened this because, you know, there's a lot of things that we all share together. There's a lot of firsts that we've shared together over the years. And, you know, I think this is one of those firsts. And this doubles up as a few things. So you'll see it and you'll think, oh, okay, it's a little lanyard. And so there is a lanyard hole here that will pass through, and then you can have this as a lanyard. As far as lanyards go, you know, it's very nice. Doubles up as quite a few different things. First thing that you'll see, hopefully, on the inside, and this beautiful metric for 99.9% of the world that use the metric system, not pointing at you at all, USA. You have 80 or 800 millimeter or 80 centimeter, which is really nice because, you know, that's quite dual functional. But the dual functionality of this doesn't stop there. So there is a little fob here that you can push in, and you'll see that these come out. This is very clever, and yet again I commend Wuben for doing this. So you have a USB, you have a USB-A here, and you have a USB-C here. So when you want to charge this, you can plug it in. It's always with you. Even if you're not using this for this, you can bang your car keys on here. Stick your car keys on there as well. So there is a little hook that you can take off, which I'll probably lose as soon as I put that down. Put your car keys on here so that you always have this with you. You pinch these, let's put this back together, you pinch these, or at least just hold these together, comme ça, push it in, and there you do, you have it. That is awesome. Take note, every other EDC manufacturing flashlight company, this is what you need to be doing if you want to take everything to the next level. And these are just the accessories. So let's get the flashlight out. Give you some information about this. Let's just make sure that we stay in focus as well. So here we have the Wuben X2 flashlight. First thing that I want to say is, as far as the appearance of this is incredibly unique. It is different from any flashlight that I've ever seen. Now, there are some similarities. The first one being that it is more of a rectangular flashlight. This isn't new, but just the look of this, incredibly futuristic. The X0 flashlight, I noted that looked like it was from the future, and I think they've continued that with the X2 flashlight. In fact, if I hold it at this angle, let me just make some noises as this comes past. So imagine that this is space, and there's maybe some laser shots, and you see this, and it looks like I don't know, so it's being followed by the Sith or something. It really has that excellent, very futuristic look to it as well. Plus, with these two screws and this face mask here, it looks like a funny futuristic duck. So there you go. Now, as far as the size-wise, you can see it fits perfectly into your hand. It's certainly not too large and bulky when you have it in your pocket. It's constructed from a billet of aluminium, and you can see where it has been milled. So you will find that it is ever so slightly more heavier than some other lights. It comes in at just over 100 grams, which, like I say, you notice it's in your pocket, but you don't feel like you're walking around with a lump of lead, mainly because a lot of other flashlights, they tend to have like a false, or I suppose a semicircle edge to them, which means that a lot of this material has been milled away. They've decided not to do that. They have put some milling into this here on the side here as well, to help with some of to allow it to heat regulate itself as well, which will have reduced some of the weight, but it's on the heavier side, I'll just add, but it's certainly not ridiculously heavy, put it that way. There are two versions of this. In fact, there are more than two. I think I said this on the last one. There are two. So the main two versions. This is the white version, which is white, and it has these black features to it, and then you have this blue switch here, which is how you turn it on and off and go through the functionality. There is a completely black version of this, which looks absolutely amazing. It looks like this really amazing kind of obsidian obelisk. But I thought for the camera, the white version definitely comes off a lot better, but the black version looks sick. And then there are some special edition ones of these, which have this kind of futuristic circuitry cell kind of pattern on the outside as well, which again look very nice. Of course, I'll leave a link to everything below. Sorry about that, I'm just clearing my throat for a second. Features wise, now this isn't the type of light that you're going to be hot swapping batteries out of should you need to swap the battery on this. Really, you're going to have to make sure that you do keep this charged to make sure that it stays charged. I guess if you wanted to, you can take it apart. So here on the bottom there are 4 screws so that you can take this off, and then you can swap the batteries. Here on the bottom as well, you can see there is a 2000 milliamp hour battery in there as well, but it does take a bit to get it out, unfortunately. You just need to make sure that you keep it charged. This bottom section isn't magnetic, which I think is a shame. If they'd have added a magnet to that would be great, but I think with the weight of this, it would have needed to have been quite a large, substantial magnet, purely because it probably wouldn't have been strong enough to take the full weight of this. And it's certainly a beautiful light. You don't want to be dropping this and damaging it. far as, you know, as we're talking about batteries, we kind of mentioned earlier that you have a USB Type-C charger with this. Underneath here, there is a USB Type-C port, which is a waterproof USB Type-C port, because there is literally just this cover stroke button over there that stops any water from going in, but you know, it doesn't stop any water whatsoever. As far as the IP rating on this, it's IP 6.8, or at least for dust and water. It's 6 for dust, which is the highest that you can get on consumer electronics, and it's 8 for water ingression, which is the highest that you can get for consumer electronics as well. This is your main button. As far as, actually no, let's not talk about the user face. The last thing really to point out on the back here, you have this you have a pocket spring. On the X0, the pocket spring on the back of that is very tough. In fact, I might even go as far as to say maybe it's a little bit too tough. There is very little give in it whatsoever. The spring on this one is probably more akin to, you know, your normal type of regular springs. So being able to pull this off, being able to clip it onto things is a lot easier. If you want to take this off so that you get the full aesthetic, the back section is the same as the front section. There are 2 screws here which are easy to take off, and then you can put the screws back into it, and you get that full, really nice aesthetic all the way around. Now getting on to, oh no, sorry, we did forgot to mention the business end. So here in the business end, you have more of those Osram P9 LEDs. So there are 3 in here, which again, going for that kind of Star Wars aesthetic, looks awesome in the back. It looks like it really is trying to escape the Sarlacc. Anyway, you know what I mean. But yes, can throw up to a maximum of 2,500 lumens. This is the Osram P9. There is also some Samsung LEDs that go in there as well. If you choose the option with the Samsung LEDs, I think they go up to 1,800 lumens, which again, you know, I'll just leave some information here just in case that is different. So yes, these are all operated through this main button. Now the button also doubles up as a cover for the charging port. Either side of the charging port here, so you have 2 screws there, but you also have these 2 pieces of metal which are magnets. So if I do this so that it's not affected by gravity here on its side, you'll notice that it does swing in to keep that in place. The UI, very simple. It's what has been used on lots of different lights before. So you have, actually let's bump it up so that we're on, let's bump it up so we have it on high. So single click for on, single click for off, very simple. When it's on, you have a low, medium and high. Now they have opted not to have a moonlight mode on this. By default, the low mode is 5 lumens, which is very similar to a moonlight mode. Moonlight mode tends to be around that kind of 1 lumen area. But they've not gone for moonlight mode. They've just gone for low. If you want to go through each of the different light modes, then you do a long press. So now we're in the low mode. You do a long press. We're now in medium. You do a long press, and we're now in high. When it's off, you can do a double press, which takes you to the turbo, and then that is that's your 2,500 lumens. It does have a memory function on here, but it will remember what are classed as the normal modes. So the normal modes or the regular modes are your low, medium and high, whereas your turbo mode is classed as kind of a special mode. So if you do bump it up onto turbo, turn it back off again, turn it on again, it will remember the normal or regular mode that you were on. You can also get access to the turbo mode whilst it's turned off as well with a double press, and that will give you access to your turbo. When it is off, or at least when it's on, so let's put this back into some low, medium and high. So we're in high at the moment. If you wanted to have access to the low mode, now normally this would be a shortcut through to a moonlight mode, but if you wanted to have instant access to the low mode, then whilst it's off, if you do a long press, it will give you instant access to the low mode there as well. There are some special things that you can do with the modes on this as well. So just for now, I'm going to put this into the high mode. Now this works with all of these. So as it stands, when it comes in from the manufacturer, low mode is 5 lumens, medium mode is 100 lumens, and high mode is 400 lumens. But what they do is they allow you to have a little bit more options, or they allow you to cycle through and give yourself more or less out of each of those modes. So at the moment, let's put this so we're on low, we're on medium, we're on high. So by default, when you get this from the manufacturer, the high mode on this is your 400 lumens. But let's say you wanted just a little bit more out of that. So what you can do is a double press. So you press, and then on the second press, so it's more like a click and hold. So you do a click and hold, and what you'll see is it will actually get lighter until it flashes. Give it a second. See it flash there? So what that has done is, by default, it's on 400 lumens. It's now actually increased it to 800 lumens, and it will remember to keep it on 800 lumens. Now, whether you're on low, medium or high, you have the ability to have this variance with each of them. So low as standard is 5 lumens, but you can do between 5 to 100 lumens. On medium, it's at 100 lumens, but you have this variance. You can change, or you can increase or decrease it. So you have the option to go between the lowest of 100 lumens all the way up to 400 lumens. And on high, which by default is 400 lumens, you have the option to go from 400 lumens all the way up to 800 lumens, or wherever you want to stop in between there. You take your thumb off or your finger off here and it will stick at that. I think this is a really nice feature, and it's great to see a futuristic light like this with these futuristic style options. Now, the last couple of things before we have a look at how this performs in the dark. First one is you have a strobe mode, which you can which you have access to whether it's turned off or it's turned on. With a triple press, here's your strobe mode. There is also a quadruple press, which will then put it into its lockout mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see it'll flash 3 times, which means it's now completely locked out. When we mentioned about these different programmable settings as well, once it's in the lock mode, you'll be able to see in the instructions, this is where you'll be able to do a factory reset if you did want to reset all of those. But to get it out of the lock mode, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see that it will come on, and it will come on onto the low mode as well. Really nice, yeah, really nice. Now let's have a look at this and how it performs in the dark. So we're down in the dark, down at the fishing pond again, and I can do from off, I can do a long press, and this will put this onto the low mode. Now, as I previously mentioned, there's no moonlight mode on this, it's just the low mode, and low mode here is your 5 lumens. Does a great job actually. 5 lumens. It's using all 3 of those LEDs. Sorry, that was a really silly thing to point it into the camera then, but it's using all 3 of those LEDs to make sure there's plenty of light. So I guess you're getting 1.33 from each. Does that work out? 3 divided by 5? I can't remember. Anyway, so here you go. So this is your 5 lumens. So you can see here, you can see this little fishing wharf here. Go onto this and see into the water, see some of the plants around in the water. But as far as the tree that's about 10 meters away, kind of struggling to see that. The other side of the lake, although I can see the trees there, very difficult to see. Just on 5 lumens, but it's still just enough whilst you're walking or you need to find something in the house. 5 lumens is perfect. So a long press will take it up to the medium mode, and this is 100 lumens. So that tree that we're kind of struggling to see on the opposite side is definitely a lot easier now, being able to see down onto this fishing wharf. And I suppose if I take a step back, it's something that I've done in quite a few other pieces. So as far as a warm spot, there's kind of a warm spot. It definitely doesn't have a very defined kind of warm spot on there. And again, so if I turn this 45 degrees back to center, 45 degrees, the skirt of the throw again, it just does a very good job at being able to throw out that light. So yes, so this is your medium 100 lumens. Now on the opposite side, it's just a little bit easier to be able to see those trees, whereas if I, in fact, there we go, we've got there's a little ornamental waterfall there. If I bump this up too high with another long press, this is 400 lumens, so now that tree is way easier to see. The trees on the opposite side are now a lot easier to see as well. The amount of light, if I hold this kind of directly up, so we're using this more of a flood, you can see down the path there, you can see a lot more. And then again, you know, onto the opposite side of the fishing lake over there, you can see more. And then looking up to the little ornamental waterfall there, again, you know, it's a lot easier to see. So from any mode, whether it's turned off or it's turned on, you can do a double press, and then this will then bump it up to the 2500 lumens. That tree is, yeah, very easy to see. Opposite side of the lake. Now you can even see, hopefully you can pick this up because it actually looks stunning, but you can see the reflections of the water onto the tree there. There's a little, oh, we even had a little fish jumping over there. That was kind of cool. Being able to see the path, being able to see this little fishing jetty wharf there, and then over there now being able to see the little waterfall. In fact, there's two ducks, two little mallards there in the water as well. But yes, on the turbo mode with 2500 lumens, it really is easy to be able to see around. Now I'll just turn this off because we also have the strobe mode in here as well, which is a variable refresh as well. So that's actually quite nice, the fact that they've added that. So yes, now as mentioned, so let's go back to low. So this is low, medium, high, and then turbo. This is all using, I suppose you call these the factory defaults. We looked at earlier on how, you know, you can change these, you can move them around depending on how much of the battery you want to use. But yes, these are all on the defaults. So we've got, let's go back down, we've got 5, 100, 400, 2500. Let's see if we can catch a fish. Let's see if we can go around here and catch one of these fishes jumping. Having a good old play around just. See any fish in the water? It is a bit murky, unfortunately. As you go through the year, it definitely clears out, but there's a couple of them just jumping over here. Come on. No. But anyway, you know, there's the opposite side. Here's some more, and then there's the little jetty that I was stood on before. You can still see the waterfall over there, and there's that tree as well. Now, I've said this before and I will definitely say this again, these Wuben X series lights are just something different, and I've put on a hat so that I can doff my cap just because of I just like the initiative that they've done, and I really genuinely sincerely hope that these become as popular as they should be, so that Wuben can see that taking that risk to make something that is different, that is 100% unique and not like any other flashlight that's out there, I hope it can show them that that risk was a calculated risk and it is 100% paid off. These have got possibly more character than I think any flashlight has that's on the market right now, and if it was a gamble for you guys, it has, in my eyes, it has certainly paid off. And again, I really do hope that these are as successful as they need to be to give them that kind of push to say, right, let's start making more different types of these so that we can show that we are making lights that have style and function. And I think that's the important part. If this really was just style and didn't, you know, do anything different than other lights, then maybe you could say that. but you're getting your 2500 lumens. It works really well in the dark. The light that it produces from the Osram LED is great, and you've got that little kind of finesse that you can decide how much beam you want from your moonlight, low, medium and high. I think it's great as well. People like to conserve the battery, and being able to do that is, yeah, brilliant. I know I say I don't like to blow smoke up people's arses, but I think Wuben deserve it for this flashlight. So yes, I will leave all of the links below for Wuben so that you can see more from them. I'd like to take this opportunity again to thank you guys for sending them my way. Edison, you are a very nice guy, I will say that for sure. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well, but for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. I do need somewhere better to keep shit. I think my issue is the clappy, clicky thing shoot, which I love doing. It's my signature move, but it just means I've got to hide something somewhere so that I don't drop it. I drop a lot of stuff. Flashback, hey, who can remember that piece of content that I made on, what was it now? Oh, it was that knife, wasn't it? The knife that I made. Yeah, making some content on that, and I dropped it in some deer poo that I hadn't noticed was on the floor below me. That was a good day. Drop your knife in some deer crap. I have it stowed away just off camera. Not tucked in. Sometimes I tuck it into my waist belt, like a 16-year-old when the postman comes to the door and you're like, oh, better tuck it into my waist belt. But this is a flashlight, not a flasher. Sorry, where were we?